Hello and welcome to the channel. I'll be, as it says there on the title, producing a tutorial called the 3-Par Simulator Part 2. There is already a Part 1 on YouTube, so I'm assuming that you've already done that. Okay, now Part 1 should take you to a point where you've downloaded the simulator, you've installed your VMware workstation, and you've got 2 nodes and an enclosure. So you should currently have 3 VMs. Hopefully you can see that okay. I don't know if I can make these tabs any bigger, but I'll explain everything that I do. Right, I'm using VMware Workstation 12. As I say, from Part 1 you should have 2 nodes and an enclosure. The names of the VMs aren't so important. Okay, so in Part 2, what I'll do is I'll create another VM, which is the SSMC, which is the Management Console. You may have seen it on other 3-Par videos, but we'll get that also installed. Now I'll do that first, and the steps were on the HP site. There's this file here. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. HP SSMC 3.8 QR4 82-11524 ISO. So I can zoom it in a little bit. Oh, let's zoom out. Okay, that's this one here. Hopefully you can read that okay. It's 3.75 gigabytes. So you download that. And that's the file there, downloaded. Now, you need to extract the contents of the ISO. So you can either mount it if you've got some way to mount it. I can actually just extract it to a folder. I use WinRAR, and that's it, extracted. I've got some notes here as well. I'll bring the notes up on screen as well. Now, there's the extracted folder, and in there, the contents. Hopefully you can see that okay. What's interesting is that there's talk about, in here on the VMware, there's talk about, let me extract this as well before I go on to that. There's a zip file. If you can't see the .zip or these extensions, then you need to turn on your view so you can see the extensions. That's in here. I'm assuming that people who are wanting to use a simulator are fairly computer literate. This isn't for people who don't know how to use Windows. You should know how to use Windows. You should know what a zip file is. You should at this point obviously have installed VMware Workstation. As I said, I've done Part 1 of the simulator. You can find that on YouTube. Anyway, here we go. This zip file, I want to extract the contents. It's fairly quick if you've got a quick machine, I suppose. And here you have it. It's made lots of files in my directory. what we'll be interested in is this one. It says HP SSMC Appliance, ESXi, OVF. So we go back to our VMware workstation, and what we'll need to do is create a new VM. On this version, it says open, and I'm in that folder. Obviously, you need to have gone into the subdirectory. You select the OVF file for ESXi, open that, accept the license, and give it a name. What are we going to call it? Okay, we call it SSMC. Reasonable name. The path, you should use the path where you've stored all your other virtual machines, just to be a little bit tidy. I created a folder called VMware, and I put my VMs subfolder in there. I'm using my C drive because I've got quite a fast C, although there isn't that much space, so I'm using a small deployment options. It will use less resources on my computer. And you have to think about it, because if you're using your own system at home or your own lab, it tends not to be a huge amount of resources, but get a decent system and you should be able to get some fairly good results. Okay, this doesn't take very long. And that is it. 4th VM is up and running. Now, I may need to edit this at some point. It says processors 4. Memory is not a problem for me, but I might need to reduce that processors when I fire up some of these other VMs. But for the moment, we'll just power this one on. We're going to test this. So we're powering it on. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, here we are. Our login screen. Now we'll need to log in. And if you click inside the black box, then you can type SSMC admin, enter, and it's SSMC admin again, enter that. Now it says you're required to change your password immediately, so I'll type in a new password. Oh, it says current password first, SSMC admin, and then a new password. Okay, so that is it. Password has changed. It drops us back to the prompt. Now, we want to connect to this VM, so we'll need to know what the IP address is, obviously. To find that, I use the ifconfig command, enter that, and as you can see, it's picked up an IP address from my router, and that's 192.168.0.40. Your router may be giving out different IP addresses, so just make a note. I'll just quickly make a note on my screen. Example 192.168.0.40. Okay, now we bring up a browser. Okay, proceed. And here we have it. We get some progress here. Okay, we haven't got any storage connected, but at least we know at this stage that we're connecting to our VM. So SSMC admin and the new password that you gave it. And the login. Okay, so we know that our administrator console is working, which is great news. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, now I'll just pause here for a moment. So that's that taken care of. I'll just bring the notes on screen in case it was too small. I'll just make it here a bit bigger. So this is what we've done so far. We're installing the SSMC, the Management Console. We've downloaded the ISO, we've unzipped it. If you don't have any way to unzip it, you could mount the ISO as well to view the contents, but then of course the zip file is inside and you'll need to extract that. Until you look in the you look in the VMware folder, there are other options like Hyper-V. I think you can install a Hyper-V version. Doesn't have to be on VMware. And then you set up your VM, create a new VM, and then you log in with the default password, which is the same as the name. Okay, change the password straight away. You find the IP address using the ifconfig, which is a standard Linux command. And then you bring up a browser, and then you browse to the IP address. As I said, the IP address may be different. And don't forget the port number. Port, so you put a colon symbol, and then 8443 is the port. And then you should at least be able to get to this screen. And that's it for this part. And then when I come back, we'll carry on with the simulator, configuring the simulator VMs. Okay, let's start by powering on these nodes. Power on. I did see a setting in VMware Workstation that will allow you to increase the size of the screen. It's here. if you look on the settings, display, there's a stretch mode. So we'll see if that helps. Okay, that's one powered up. I should really have named them node 0 and node 1. Yeah, I can rename these. Okay, let's start this one. Let's make that a bit bigger. Came up pretty quick. Okay, so those three are powered on. Now, what we'll need to do, some further configuration. Okay, let me just see what the login on this one is. Okay, to log in here, you just log in as root, password root. That's it. Interesting. Okay, we want to set up our drives. Okay, I'm just gonna use option 1. Just gonna start with 1. Start ESD daemon. Okay, that's that done. Control Alt to get control of your mouse again. Now we go to node 0 and we'll log in as console. And the password is CR uppercase H 72MKR. That's it. Okay, so we're going to configure the cluster node, which is option 1. Yes. Node ID 0. Serial number. Confirm. Yes. Okay, updating simulator. That's that. And we will do the same for number node 1. Console CR uppercase H 72MKR. Y for yes. This is node 1. We use the same serial number. Confirm. That's it. Okay, next we will do the come out of here. Go back to node 0. Okay, on node 0, next option is number 2, out of the box procedure. Okay, it appears your cluster is in a proper manual startup state to proceed. Okay, do you wish to continue? Yes. Okay. Cluster has the following nodes, node 0, node 1. Enter C to continue. Identify locations so the time zones can be set correctly. Okay, let's have a look. Eight. Are we in Europe? That's a good question. Are we in Europe? Okay, 8. Britain. Okay, it says time. Thursday. Okay, yeah, that looks good. One for yes. Okay. Date, time looks good. Enter the StoreServ system name. Okay, we're going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it 3PAR Lab. Is this correct name? Yes. Okay. Verify that info OS versions are correct. C to continue. Okay, here we go. Cluster has 24 disk. C to continue. Okay, I think that's it. It's giving me a subject and a fingerprint. I'm not sure at this stage whether I should record. Keep that handy. Okay. I need the IP address. Just gonna have to try and think of an IP address. Let's find an IP address. Try this one. 192.168.0.41. None, if none, I'll use that one. 192.168.0.1 auto speed. Right, NTP server. I could use the Google Time server, but I don't think I need it. Let's have a look. We're going to use it for the moment. Trouble with using it is I'm not sure if I actually have DNS set up. I might need to set that up. I will just I'm just gonna use just make a note of this. So I don't forget myself. 192.168.0.1. I'll just use that for the moment. Yeah. Yeah. For now, do you wish to use RCIPS? Which is, let's think, I think that is remote copy. Yeah, I think that's remote copy if you have two SIMs going. We don't need that at the moment. So I'm trying to have the least amount of drives and so we can at least get something up and running. You can always redo it, add additional features once you got the process going. Oh, chunklet allocation, D for default. No license entered. Press enter to continue. SIM-based management API. Yeah, let's have that. License. Yes. Okay. I think that is it. A few issues, and I thought it's best to include them in the tutorial because you might end up with the same problems. Now the issue I had was that I couldn't get to the cluster from the management console. Now, there were two problems. Firstly, the management console gave me, if you remember, it was a 192.168.0.40 address. That wasn't correct. I mean, it was correct for me to get to the management console, but it caused another issue. Now, if you look in the settings, I should have changed the network adapter to host only. That means it will be on the same subnet as the other VMs. And to find out what that range is, you go into Virtual Network Editor here, and you'll see that it's a 192.168.72.0 network. So right away, you would see that the IP wasn't in the right place. It took quite a while to figure that out, in fact, because it seems to work. And it does work on its own, but we just need it to work with everything else. So yes, that was the first issue. And now, when I start it up, you can see here, I've got a 192.168.72.3 address. Okay, that was the first issue. The second issue was with the cluster IP as well. The cluster IP should also be in that same range of .72, 192.168.72.x range. And I reinstalled it a couple of times. In fact, the second time I selected the correct range for my cluster, and it is now on 192.168.72.20. I've opened the command prompt box, and you can see here that pinging it works. So I can get to it from here, which is a good start. So we know that the cluster IP works, and we know that the management console is also in the same range now. And thirdly, what was the third issue? Yes, you need a different login to get to it. So let's do that now. From the management console, add. Make my keyboard a little closer. 192.168.72.20, and the login is 3par ADM, and it's uppercase PT ZK5 FVT. Add that. Fingers crossed. Hey, here we go. We are in business. Okay, let me make some notes. It says connecting, processing. Oh, not connected. Certificate acceptance needed. Let's make that. Let's see what we've got here. Accept certificate. Accept. We're going to accept that certificate. Doesn't seem to have changed the message, but hopefully I'll update in a minute. Yep, it's updated and it's connected. Okay, now that that's connected and connection established, it says here, you go back to this screen and you use the 3-part admin. So you now use 3-part ADM with the password PTZK5F uppercase VT and log in here. There you have it. We are in. It's a little tutorial here. Appears the first time you log in from this browser. I'll just close that. And here you go. We are now in and looking at the system. And that ends our simulator setup. We've got access to the volumes and everything that we've created. So take it from there, lads. See you.